respected veterans, officers, faculty, members, and bright young students from Patna. Special welcome to the NCC cadets whose presence adds to the spirit of this very occasion. This seminar cum exhibition is a two-day event aiming to highlight the glorious military history, traditions and valor of this very region. Home to countless warriors and brave hearts who have left an indelible mark on our nation's history. To formally inaugurate this event, we will be honored to have our Chief Guest, Honorable Governor of Bihar, whose gracious presence will add great value to this occasion. After the inaugural session, ladies and gentlemen, all are requested to move outside for exhibition, followed by tea. After tea, all are requested once again to join us for our first session of the seminar, followed by lunch, which has been catered outside this auditorium. After lunch, ladies and gentlemen, next two sessions for the day will be conducted at the present location. Tomorrow, we will conduct the remaining two insightful sessions at this very location. After that, closing ceremony will be conducted. I once again, on behalf of Bihar Regimental Center, Danapur and USI, welcome you all to Akhoda Auditorium for the seminar cum exhibition.
Project Udbhav is a joint collaboration between the Indian Army and USI. It was launched at the inaugural of the annual Indian Military Heritage Festival, the signature event of USI of India, by the Honorable Defence Minister, Shri Rajnath Singh. The project marks a significant collaboration to study the evolution of Indian military system, strategy, war fighting and strategic thought, and to develop an indigenous vocabulary rooted in India's philosophy and culture. We shall now screen a short video on Project Udbhav. Can we have the video, please?
संस्कृति और सभ्यताओं से एक है, जिसका समर्थ सैन्य इतिहास अदम्य वीरता और साहस को प्रदर्शित करता है। यह ज्ञान और वीर्य गुरु गोविंद सिंह, शुक्राचार्य और शिवाजी महाराज जैसे महान विचारकों की देन है। इन दिग्गजों ने कूटनीति और युद्ध नीति की नींव रखी, एक स्वदेशी रणनीति और सैन्य संस्कृति का पोषण किया। प्राचीन सैन्य इतिहास हमारे सेना इतिहासकारों और विद्वानों के लिए प्रेरणा का एक मूल्य स्रोत है, जो देश की सैन्य विरासत के निर्माण में महत्वपूर्ण सोच और गौरव को बढ़ावा देता है। इस ऐतिहासिक पृष्ठभूमि को ध्यान में रखते हुए स्वदेशी ज्ञान पर एक संवाद और अनुसंधान शुरू करने के लिए भारतीय सेना ने यूनाइटेड सर्विस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया द्वारा प्रोजेक्ट उद्भव की कल्पना की है। प्रोजेक्ट उद्भव का उद्देश्य भारतीय शासन कला और रणनीतिक सोच को वैश्विक मंच पर प्रदर्शित करना है। हमारे प्राचीन ग्रंथ जैसे ऋग्वेद और अर्थशास्त्र भारतीय सेना के अस्तित्व के सबसे पुराने लिखित विवरण हैं। वहीं रामायण और महाभारत जैसे महाकाव्य युद्ध के नैतिक मूल्य, सैन्य सिद्धांतों और संरचनाओं की व्याख्या करते हैं। सैन्य इतिहास हमारे देश की सांस्कृतिक विरासत का अभिन्न अंग है। इसीलिए प्राचीन सैन्य ज्ञान को ऐतिहासिक तरीके से समझने और युद्ध में स्थायी प्रकृति चरित्र को आज के समय में समझाने के लिए इसकी उपयोगिता बहुमूल्य है। प्रोजेक्ट उद्भव प्राचीन भारतीय ग्रंथ प्राप्त रणनीति शासन कला के स्वदेशी ज्ञान एक ग्लोबल डायलॉग और रिसर्च को बढ़ावा देने की पहल करता है। भारतीय सेना के अटूट समर्थन के साथ यूनाइटेड युद्ध कला रणनीतिक सोच और शासन कला के विकास को उजागर करना है। उद्भव की तरह जिसका उद्देश्य भारतीय सैन्य प्रणालियों के विकास के बारे में हमारी समझ को आगे बढ़ाना है। साथ ही सैन्य अधिकारियों को हमारी प्राचीन सभ्यता के गहन ज्ञान से सैन्य नीति और नेतृत्व के बारे में महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी देना है। इस प्रोजेक्ट के माध्यम से अन्य संस्कृतियों और सभ्यताओं के तुलनात्मक परिप्रेक्ष्य में व्यापक और अधिक गहन अध्ययन के अवसर उत्पन्न हुए। इन अध्ययनों और गतिविधियों का एक संकलन एक सार संग्रह में संकलित किया गया है। इस ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा भविष्य के शोध और अध्ययन के लिए किया गया है। यह हमारी अनूठी यात्रा की शुरुआत है। भारतीय सेना और यूनाइटेड सर्विस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के नेतृत्व में किए गए प्रयासों की पहली श्रृंखला को साझा करने पर हमें गर्व है।
दवा के लिए हमको पहली बार में लग रहा है।
Taking inspiration from Digital India vision, the Indian Army conceived Project Shaurya Sankalan to preserve the rich and glorious history of the Indian Army. The USI, Center for Military History and Conflict Studies, in collaboration with the Army War College, Mount, initiated a pilot project in February 2022 to digitize the records of the Indian Army. The aim of the project is to make the rich historical record available to scholars, historians, and military personnel for the purpose of research, as also to preserve the culture of the Army in digital format for easy retrieval through customized software. At present, USI, Center for Military History and Conflict Studies, is also digitizing records for the Indian Air Force. We shall now screen a video on Project Sankalan. Request play the video, please.
उसको बोलेगा ना, हाँ? तो इसको देखो। इसको यहाँ से ढीला होगा, तो जाएगा।
भारतीय सेना का गौरवपूर्ण इतिहास, जिसका एक बड़ा हिस्सा उसकी यूनिट्स और फॉर्मेशंस में प्रलेखित है। वीरता की गाथाओं का विवरण देने वाले ये ऐतिहासिक अभिलेख देश के कोने कोने में फैले हुए हैं और समय के साथ भूमि ले गए हैं। डिजिटल मीडिया विजुअल से डाटा भारतीय सेना ने प्रोजेक्ट शौर्य संकलन के द्वारा डिजिटल आर्काइविंग के माध्यम से इस अमूल्य विरासत को संरक्षित करने की पहल करी है। इसका उद्देश्य सेना की विभिन्न टुकड़ियों का युद्ध में योगदान एक सरल और आसान तरीके से आम नागरिक तक पहुंचाना भी है। यूनाइटेड सर्विस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के सहयोग से गत एक वर्ष में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मानकों से परिपूर्ण अत्याधुनिक अभिलेख प्रणाली स्थापित की गई। डबल कोर मानक मेटाडाटा क्षेत्रों से पूरे संग्रह को संजोकर डिजिटल आर्काइव की संरचना की गई है। अभिलेखों तक सहज पहुंच के लिए इस समूचे डिजिटल आर्काइव को यूजर फ्रेंडली इन्फो कियोस्क द्वारा एकीकृत कर इस्तेमाल के लिए पूर्ण किया गया। इस तरह एक विश्व स्तरीय सैन्य डिजिटल आर्काइव का निर्माण संभव हुआ, जिसमें अब तक तकरीबन 10 लाख दस्तावेजों और 600 घंटे की वीडियो को डिजिटाइज किया जा चुका है। इसमें आर्म फोर्सेस फील्ड और फोर डिवीजन की दुर्लभ तस्वीरें भी शामिल हैं। धूमिल और विकसित हुए ऐतिहासिक दस्तावेजों को नेशनल आर्काइव्स और इंडैक के विशेषज्ञों की मदद से पर्यावर्तित कर नया जीवनदान दिया है। इस प्रोजेक्ट से भारतीय सेना का इतिहास डिजिटल कार्य क्षेत्र में शामिल हुआ है। साथ ही ये सेना की गौरवशाली अतीत को इतिहासकार, शिक्षा संस्थान और आम नागरिक से जोड़ने में एक अभिन्न कड़ी सिद्ध होगा। भारतीय सेना ने नेशनल डिजिटल विजन के अंतर्गत एक और बता
Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged and honoured to have Lieutenant General Udbhav amidst us, who has the rare achievement of commanding Eastern, Southwestern and Central Army commands. The General Officer has studied from St. Xavier's Patna before joining National Defence Academy at Khadak, Wasla. After active military career spanning around 4 decades, the General Officer served as Chief Commissioner of the West Bengal Right to Public Service Commission. We are equally honored to have amongst us the Director General USI, General B.K. Sharma, the Assistant Senamal Bharat. USI, the United Services Institution of India, India's oldest think tank, ladies and gentlemen, has majestically grown in size and stature since its inception. Around 150 years back, adopting to the changing security landscape, the premier institution has embarked on various historical initiatives with the help of DMA and armed forces from time to time. Department of Military Affairs, Government of India, with the help of USI, envisioned a noble project with the aim of preserving and propagating our rich military heritage of valor and sacrifices through tourism and education. The project has been passionately executed by USI, proudly called Shaurya Gatha. With the help of a small video, ladies and gentlemen, we will witness this project initiative. Can we have the video, please?
शहीदों की चिताओं पर जुड़ेंगे हर बरस मेले, वतन पे मिटने वालों का यही आखिरी निशान होगा। डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री अफेयर्स और यूनाइटेड सर्विसेज इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया भारत के सैन्य पर्यटन को बढ़ावा देने की दिशा में प्रस्तुत करता है भारत सरकार की अद्भुत पहल शौर्य गाथा। आइए शौर्य गाथा के माध्यम से आपको एक ऐसे सफर पर लिए चलते हैं जहां हमारा गौरवशाली इतिहास जीवंत हो उठता है। ये भारत की समृद्ध सैन्य विरासत को संरक्षित रखने और शिक्षा तथा पर्यटन के माध्यम से इसे जन जन तक पहुंचाने के लिए समर्पित एक ऐतिहासिक पहल है। एक ऐसा मंच जो जनमानस को इन घटनाओं, स्थलों एवं कहानी को जानने के लिए आमंत्रित करता है, जिन्होंने राष्ट्र को आकार दिया है और आने वाली पीढ़ियों को प्रेरित किया है। पारंपरिक शिक्षा की परिधि से परे ये विस्तृत अनुभव हमें प्राचीन दिलों से लेकर आधुनिक संग्रहालय तक अतीत के बलिदानों एवं उपलब्धियों से जोड़ता। दुनिया की प्राचीनतम सदरगाहों में से एक हमारे भारत का सैन्य इतिहास हजारों सालों से हमारे सैनिकों की बहादुरी एवं बलिदान की गाथाओं से भरा है। देश की सैन्य नैतिकता हमारी परंपराओं में गहराई से निहित है। वो परंपराएं जिनकी नींव निष्काम कर्म और निस्वार्थ सेवा के परम आदर्शों पर स्थापित है। भारत का राजवंशी युद्ध हो या राजपूताना की लड़ाई, चोरों की विजय हो, शक्तिशाली मौर्य साम्राज्य या मुगल काल, हमारा इतिहास अद्भुत है, अनोखा है। हमारे सैनिकों ने हर युग में अपने योगदान से एक स्थायी प्रभाव छोड़ा है। इन आदर्शों के अनुरूप वर्तमान में हमारी सैन्य क्षमता का उदय एक ऐसी शक्ति के रूप में हुआ है जो सबल है, सक्षम है और जिसका दुल्हा आज पूरा विश्व मान रहा है। सैन्य विरासत से जुड़े पर्यटन का मतलब सिर्फ ऐतिहासिक स्थलों का भ्रमण ही नहीं, बल्कि बलिदान की कहानियों से जुड़ना है जो हमारे इतिहास को परिभाषित करती हैं। हमारी सेना की चुनौतियां उनके शौर्य और विजयश्री की झलक दिखाते इन कर्तव्यों में हम सब के लिए कुछ न कुछ जरूर है। फिर चाहे आप इतिहास में रुचि रखते हो या फिर एक उत्सुक पर्यटक हो।
सैन्य पर्यटन हमारे विशाल सैन्य इतिहास को संरक्षित करते हुए भावी पीढ़ियों को प्रेरित करने का एक अभिनव प्रयास है, जिसके माध्यम से हमारी दीर्घकालीन सैन्य परंपराओं की जानकारी का विस्तार होगा एवं पर्यटन को नई ऊंचाई मिलेगी। साथ ही सैनिक मूल्यों एवं विश्व शांति के संरक्षक के रूप में हमारे देश की छवि को बल मिलेगा। शौर्य गाथा एक ऐसी अद्भुत पहल है जो ऐतिहासिक युद्ध स्थलों से लेकर श्रद्धा स्मारकों तक आपको इतिहास से रूबरू कराएगी। इस गौरवशाली अतीत को एक नए नजरिए से देखने का, सराहने का अवसर प्रदान करेगी और हमारी सैन्य विरासत को भारत एवं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय दर्शकों के साथ नए अंदाज में साझा करेगी। आइए मिलकर इतिहास पर अतीत की छाप छोड़ने वाले इन महत्वपूर्ण पलों को पुनः जीवंत करें। सैन्य इतिहास की गौरव गाथाओं से प्रेरणा लें। सैन्य विरासत से जुड़ा पर्यटन आपके लिए हृदय से प्रतीक्षारत है। शौर्य गाथा की इस यात्रा पर हम आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन करते हैं।
दैवीय सज्जनों, माननीय रक्षा मंत्री और चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ जनरल अनिल चौहान के मार्गदर्शन में यूएसआई द्वारा इस प्रोजेक्ट को परिकल्पित विकसित किया गया है। A salute to those brave hearts who gave their tomorrow for our today. है नमन उनको कि जिनके सामने बौना हिमालय जो धरा पर गिर पड़े और आसमानी हो गए। जी हाँ, इस जहां में शौर्य की जीवित कहानी हो गए। Shaurya Gatha is an initiative that will add a new dimension to battlefield tourism and development of our border areas. देवियों सज्जनों, मैं यहाँ बताना चाहूँगा कि बिहार रेजिमेंट का इतिहास बेहद पुराना है। वीर बाबू कुंवर सिंह और बिरसा मुंडा को आदर्श मानने वाले इस रेजिमेंट ने कई युद्धों में अपना पराक्रम दिखाया है, चाहे वह दूसरे विश्व युद्ध में बर्मा की लड़ाई हो या फिर हाल ही में चीनियों के हौसले पस्त करने वाला गलवान का संघर्ष हो। इस रेजिमेंट के शूरवीर सिपाहियों ने देश सर्वप्रथम नेशन फर्स्ट के मार्ग पर चलते हुए अपना सर्वस्व न्यौछावर कर दिया। मैं यहां बताना चाहूंगा कि बिहार रेजिमेंट ने 3 महावीर चक्र, 3 अशोक चक्र, 13 कीर्ति चक्र, 47 शौर्य चक्र, 192 सेना मेडल और 40 मेंशन इन डिस्पैचेस हासिल किए हैं। तो आइए आपको लिए चलते हैं एक ऐसी ही कहानी की ओर जिसमें इस रेजिमेंट के वीर रणबांकुरों ने दुश्मनों को घुटने टेकने पर मजबूर कर दिया। कैन वी हैव द वीडियो?
Not by action, not by progeny, not by wealth, but by sacrifice alone can immortal goal be achieved. आज का यह पावन दिन, करगिल विजय दिवस, नमन कृतज्ञ भारतीय सेना के उन शूरवीरों के प्रति जिन्होंने राष्ट्र प्रेम की नई इबारत लिखी। देश सर्वप्रथम नेशन फर्स्ट के मार्ग पर चलते हुए सर्वस्व न्यौछावर कर दिया। आज का यह भव्य समारोह देशभक्ति की धधकती ज्वाला का गवाह, अग्रिम मोर्चे पर डटे फौलाद के स्तंभ का गवाह, कसम परेड की डोर से सरहद के कटीले तारों के साथ साथ जिंदगी की तारीख से बंधे होने का गवाह, आवाम की आंखों में झलकते प्रार्थना के शब्दों का, पुण्य चिताओं पर आंसुओं की बरसात का और देशभक्त बादलों की छातियां बरबस फटने का गवाह, भारतीय सेना की श्रेष्ठतम परंपराओं और सर्वोच्च बलिदान का गवाह। है सरजमीन हिंदुस्तान, तेरे उन जानिसारों, जाबाजों, शहीदों और मुहाफिजों को सलाम है, सलाम है, सलाम है, जिन्होंने अपनी बहादुरी की कलम से फतेह की एक और बेमिसाल तारीख लिख दी। गवाह है आज भी कारगिल की वो बुलंद चोटियां जिनको तुमने अपने लहू से सींच कर तिरंगे की आन, बान और शान को रोशन कर दिया। जय हिंद। आज हम एक ऐसे वीर योद्धा से बात करेंगे और जानेंगे कि किस प्रकार उन्होंने ऑपरेशन विजय करगिल युद्ध के दौरान अपनी बटालियन फर्स्ट बिहार का सफल नेतृत्व करते हुए जुबर कॉम्प्लेक्स को दुश्मनों से लड़कर वापस लिया। यह हमारे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है कि आज हमारे बीच ब्रिगेडियर ओम प्रकाश यादव युद्ध सेवा मेडल मौजूद हैं, जिनसे अमेठी यूनिवर्सिटी पटना की स्टूडेंट संस्कृति बातचीत करेंगी।
ऑपरेशन विजय की शुरुआत कैसे हुई और फर्स्ट बिहार बटालियन इसका हिस्सा कब बनी?
देखो, ऑपरेशन विजय एक हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा सरप्राइज था पूरे हिंदुस्तान की फौज के लिए, क्योंकि इसका बिल्कुल पता नहीं चला कि दुश्मन किस समय हमारी तरफ घुसपैठ कर गया। तो ये जो हम इंट्रूजन की बात कर रहे हैं, ये कारगिल का जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट है उसकी कारगिल डिस्ट्रिक्ट शुरू होता है जैसे आप जोजिला पास क्रॉस करते हो वहां से लेके और खालसी तक। एक खालसी एक जगह आती है इंडस रिवर के साथ साथ जाने के बाद, ये इलाका है। इस इलाके में उस समय केवल एक ही ब्रिगेड थी, जिस ब्रिगेड का नाम था 121 इंडिपेंडेंट इन्फेंट्री ब्रिगेड, जो पूरे 168 किलोमीटर के इलाके के अंदर डिफेंस के लिए जिम्मेवार थी। लेकिन गैप्स बहुत ज्यादा थे, तो उस गैप्स को पिछले 10 साल से दुश्मन देख रहा था। तो ये सोचते हुए कि इन गैप को अगर मैं ऑक्यूपाई कर लेता हूँ तो हिंदुस्तान की फौज ले तक नहीं जा पाएगी और आखिर में हम इस इलाके को जीत लेंगे। तो उसकी ये प्लान थी। तो जब हम उस समय जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी ऑपरेशंस में थे, मुझे आदेश मिले थे कि भाई वहाँ कुछ मिलिटेंट हैं और आप अपनी पलटन लेके आपको उधर जाना है द्रास कारगिल सेक्टर के अंदर। तो इस प्रकार से लड़ाई शुरू हुई और मैं बटालियन में 20 तारीख की रात को हेडलाइट ऑफ करके पहुंचा था। 21 मई को
कारगिल की ये विजय उस नए भारत की नींव का पत्थर है, क्योंकि इस युद्ध में बही खून की हर एक बूंद ने हमारे आज को सींचा है। वही खून प्रेरणा देता है, बढ़ो आगे मत रुको, पूरी शक्ति सहित निर्भयता से हर असंभव पहाड़ इसी तरह जीत लो। सीने में जो भारत भूमि के प्रति प्रेम है वो बूंद प्रज्वलित हो। जब संपूर्ण विश्व के शीर्ष शिखर पर भारत का ध्वज फहराएगा, तब मेरे देशवासियों हर दिन विजय दिवस कहलाएगा, विजय दिवस कहलाएगा।
फर्स्ट बिहार बटालियन को जब ऑब्जेक्टिव बताया गया तो आपने किस तरह योजनाएं बनाई?
जैसे मैं बटालियन पहुंचा 21 तारीख को, 21 मई को, तो मुझे वहाँ ब्रिगेड कमांडर जो मेरे से ऊंचे अधिकारी होते हैं उन्होंने मेरे हेलीपैड के ऊपर बुलाया और बताया भी आपको ऊपर जाके जुबर के ऊपर कब्जा करना है, यहाँ पे मिलिटेंट बैठे हुए हैं। तो फिर मुझे वहीं एक हेलीकॉप्टर से उठा के थोड़ा ऊपर के एरिया में छोड़ दिया। सब मैं, मेरे साथ एक रेडियो ऑपरेटिव रनर, ये साथ थे, हम ऊपर चले गए और फिर लड़ाई उधर शुरू हुई। मेरे को जो टास्क मिला था ये, मतलब दुश्मन को एक तो कंटेन करेंगे कि जहां तक वो फैला हुआ है उतना ही रखें। इसका मतलब एक डिफेंस लेना, उसको चारों तरफ घेरा डाल के उसको करना कि ये एरिया है, और फिर उसको अटैक करके उन एरिया को कब्जा करना जो दुश्मन ने पहले से हमसे हथियार रखे हैं।
बटालियन के हीरो से मशहूर मेजर मरियप्पम सर्वनन, जिनको मरणोपरांत राष्ट्रपति द्वारा वीर चक्र से सम्मानित किया गया, उनकी कंपनी को आपने पॉइंट 4268 ऑब्जेक्टिव पर कब्जा करने का टास्क दिया था, जिसमें कैप्टन शत्रुघ्न सिंह वीर चक्र की काफी अहम भूमिका थी। इस ऑपरेशन के बारे में कुछ बताएं।
ये फर्स्ट बिहार का पहला ऑपरेशन था। जो मेन जो टास्क दिया जाता है यूनिट को, तो हमारा टास्क था जुब्बर को कैप्चर करना। ये जो 4268 है पॉइंट, ये हाइट में नापा जाता है, इसकी तकरीबन 14,000 फीट की हाइट का ये ऑब्जेक्टिव था, जो जुब्बर कॉम्प्लेक्स का हिस्सा माना जाता है। तो इसको कैप्चर करने के लिए मैंने ये टास्क चार्ली कंपनी को दिया था और मेजर मरियप्पन सरवनन उस समय चार्ली कंपनी के कमांडर थे। तो सरवनन ने मेरे से मांग की कि मुझे ये शत्रुघ्न चाहिए और एक गणेश प्रसाद, उसको भी वीर चक्र मिला था। इन दोनों को, ये बहुत टफ थे, यूनिट के सबसे बेस्ट स्पोर्ट्समैन थे और ट्रेनिंग में बहुत अच्छा काम करते थे। वो एकदम वॉलंटरी जैसे तैयार होते हैं वैसे तैयार होके और इसके साथ गए थे। ये 28 तारीख की रात, 28 मई की रात को, लास्ट लाइट बोलते हैं हम उसको, जब दिन छिप जाता है ना, उस टाइम पे हमने इसको भेजा था कि आप जाइए। तो ये पूरी रात चल के सुबह 3 बजे जो उसकी पहले से पार्टी गई हुई थी उसके साथ कांटेक्ट किया और कांटेक्ट करने के बाद इसने अटैक लॉन्च किया पॉइंट 4268 के ऊपर। वहाँ सबसे पहले कैजुअलिटी हुई थी नायक गणेश प्रसाद की, जिसको भी मरणोपरांत वीर चक्र से सम्मानित किया गया था। उसके बाद सरवनन को एक गोली लगी, उसके सर को छूती हुई तो उसको ब्लीडिंग हो रहा था सर के ऊपर से। तो मैंने सरवनन को बजाया वह डे लाइट होने वाली है और दुश्मन आपको बहुत अच्छी तरह देख पाएगा, तो आपको खतरा ज्यादा है, तो आप ऐसे करिए, थोड़ा सा विड्रॉल करके एक टैक्टिकली एडवांटेजियस पोजीशन को अख्तियार करो, दुश्मन को डोमिनेट करो और हम कल रात को अटैक करेंगे। सरवनन को अब चंगेज बोलते थे, चार्ली कंपनी कमांडर, सी स्टैंड्स फॉर चार्ली, सो देयरफॉर ही यूज्ड टू बी नोन एज चंगेज। उसको तो फिर उसने कहा कि सर बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है वो और आप उसको इजाजत दे दो। तब तक पीछे से रेडियो ऑपरेटर भाग के मेरे को बोला, सर वो सरवनन को गोली लग गई, इज नो मोर। इसलिए इसको हीरो बटालिक बोला जाता है कि एक ऑफिसर को सर के अंदर गोली लग चुकी है, छू के चली गई है, ब्लीडिंग हो रही है उसको, और वो फिर भी कह रहा है कि सर पटका बांध लिया है, आप उसको फिक्र मत करो, मुझे सिर्फ आधा घंटा दो। इससे बड़ी बहादुरी कोई हो नहीं सकती। तो इसलिए इसको हीरो बटालिक कहा जाता है। वहाँ सब लोग हीरो बटालिक इसको बोलते हैं। पाकिस्तान की 13 बॉडीज थी और हमारे 4 जवान मारे गए, एसएस गुप्ता, गणेश, सरवनन और एक लड़का अरुण कुमार पांडे था। ये 4 लड़के थे जो उनकी डेड बॉडी थी और पाकिस्तान की 13 डेड बॉडी थी वहाँ पे। इसको जब गोली लगी शत्रुघ्न को तो इसने मना कर दिया, ऐसे हाथ क्रॉस कर दिया, आई कांट कम। तो मैंने इसको डिक्लेयर किया मिसिंग प्रिज्यूम डेड 96 आवर्स के बाद ना, कि वो जिंदा रह नहीं सकता, बिकॉज उस पोस्ट के ऊपर मैंने कम से कम 1000 गोले और दागे होंगे आर्टिलरी के।
2 जून को अभी सीओ साहब जब देखे कि 5 दिन हो गया, उसके ऊपर हजारों राउंड फायर उस पोस्ट के ऊपर किया हूं, अब तो लड़का अगर जो बचा होगा वो भी खत्म हो गया। तो वो 2 जून को मेरे घर में सूचना हो गया कि ये आदमी शहीद हो गया।
एक आदमी 13 दिन दुश्मन की लोकेलिटी में सरवाइव किया है, जहाँ पे इसको न कोई डायरेक्शन पता है, तो इसकी सेंस, इसका जज्बा जो इसको वापस लेके आए, उसकी वजह से मैंने इसको वीर चक्र के लिए रिकमेंड किया, उसको वीर चक्र सम्मानित किया गया।
बैटल ऑफ जुबर टॉप। 17,000 फुट की ऊंचाई पर बैठा दुश्मन ये सोच रहा था कि वो भारतीय सेना के शूरवीरों को रोक लेगा, लेकिन सटीक नेतृत्व के साए में ऐसे जाबाज वीरों की बहादुरी का सैलाब उमड़ा, जिसने जुबर टॉप तो क्या, उसके साथ .4268, .4927 और थारू पर 7 जुलाई 1999 को भारत का परचम लहरा दिया। कोड नेम चंगेज, हीरो ऑफ बटालिक से विख्यात मेजर मरियप्पन सरवनन ने .4927 की गुत्थम गुत्था की लड़ाई में 6 पाकिस्तानी सैनिकों को मार गिराया और विजय हासिल कर स्वयं वीर गति को प्राप्त हुए।
जब कोई दुश्मन जब अपने डिफेंस लेता है ना, तो सबसे आगे वो ऐसे एलिमेंट रखता है जो देख, जिसकी आंखें जैसे होती है ना, उनको जो स्नाइपर्स होते हैं जो आपके ऊपर फायर करते हैं। ऑब्जर्वेशन पोस्ट का मतलब ऑब्जर्व करना, वो हमको ऑब्जर्व करते थे। तो हमने ये जो जुबर ऑब्जर्वेशन पोस्ट है इसे 2 हिस्सों में बांट रखा। जो सबसे आगे का पोर्शन था उसको हमने नाम ऐसे देते हैं ताकि वो याद रहे, माधुरी नाम बोलते हैं, माधुरी, दैट वाज ऑपरेशन माधुरी। तो पहले दिन माधुरी के ऊपर तो कब्जा कर लिया था, लेकिन वहाँ सस्टेन नहीं कर पा रही क्योंकि ऊपर की पोर्शन पे दुश्मन बैठा हुआ था। तो मैंने इसको विड्रॉ करके एक टिम्पल पोस्ट हमारी थी उसके ऊपर वापस ले आया था। तो पहले अटैक में तो माधुरी को मतलब जुबर ओपी को हम कैप्चर नहीं कर पाए। ये मैंने सरवनन वाली लड़ाई थी, बता दी आपको। ये 29 जून को एग्जैक्टली 1 महीने बाद, उस टाइम पे ये रेवती भंडारी साहब, वो कप्तान साहब बना दिया था हमने इसको, और ये बेंजू पोस्ट के ऊपर थे, BANJU, बेंजू। हाँ, बेंजू पोस्ट से उस तरफ से इसने अटैक किया था। दैट वाज द सदर्न डायरेक्शन। पहले ईस्टर्न डायरेक्शन से अटैक किया तो वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं, तो सदर्न डायरेक्शन से इसको अटैक करा 29 तारीख को। और उस दिन चांदनी रात थी, मुझे पता है क्लाउड्स बीच बीच में आ रहे थे, तो ये जब क्लाउड आ जाते थे तो अंधेरा होने से ये क्रॉल करके ऊपर जाते थे। वो टोटल डिस्टेंस तकरीबन 1500 मीटर था बेंजो पोस्ट से लेके जुबर ऑब्जर्वेशन पोस्ट तक। उसको क्रॉल करते करते इन लोगों ने 8 घंटे लिए थे। एक तो वर्टिकल चढ़ाई भी थी, क्योंकि ये खुद 14,000 पे थे और वो पोस्ट थी तकरीबन 15,500 की, वो 1,500 का वैसे, और डिफिकल्ट टेरेन था। फिर चांद निकलता था तो वहीं फ्रीज हो जाते थे, और जब बादल आते थे ये ऊपर ऐसे सरकते थे। उस दिन से सरप्राइज हासिल किया और इसने रेवती भंडारी ने जुबर ओपी को उस तरफ से कैप्चर किया। 29 की रात को अटैक था, 30 जून को सुबह इन्होंने जुबर ओपी को कैप्चर कर लिया। कैप्चर करने के बाद अब हमें फुट होल्ड मिल गई वहाँ पे, तो हमारा जो पिंपल वाला, हम सरक के वहाँ पे आके बैठ गए जुबर ओपी के ऊपर। अब हमें उनका पूरा इलाका नजर आने लगा, जुबर टॉप और पीछे बाकी इलाका है ना, बस यही होता है। एक बार आपको नजर आने लगे तो दुश्मन को तो लग गया, आप तो नजदीक आ गया, तो सेंसिटिव होना ही था उसने।
जुबर टॉप की अहम लड़ाई, जिसमें मेजर KPR हरी, वीर चक्र और उनकी कंपनी ने करीब 6 घंटे तक लड़ाई लड़ी, जिसमें 22 पाकिस्तानी जवान मारे गए और भारी मात्रा में हथियार, गोला बारूद बरामद हुए। इस निर्णायक लड़ाई के बारे में कुछ बताएं।
जुबर टॉप के ऊपर उनकी जो डिप्लॉयमेंट थी वो बहुत हैवी डिप्लॉयमेंट थी, तो इसको काबू करने के लिए मुझे वहां पे आर्टिलरी के गोले बरसाने पड़ते हैं पहले, ताकि जब गोले बरसे तो हेड डाउन रहे दुश्मन का और हम उस पर सरक के उसके पास पहुंच सके। तो ये 6 जुलाई की बात है। जुबर के ऊपर 90 गनों ने इकट्ठा फायर किया था, 90 गन्स, मतलब 15 फायर यूनिट। KPR हरी उसने अटैक लॉन्च किया और रात को 6 तारीख की रात को, 6 जुलाई की रात को उसने इस पोस्ट को कैप्चर कर लिया तकरीबन 12 बजे के आसपास। 7 जुलाई को सुबह पूरा जुबर कॉम्प्लेक्स, जिसमें जुबर टॉप, जुबर मेन, जुबर ओपी, एक 0.4927 और 4268, ये पूरा कॉम्प्लेक्स ये हमने कैप्चर सुबह कर लिया था। और भारत का तिरंगा झंडा सुबह हमने उसके ऊपर लहरा दिया था फर्स्ट लाइट के ऊपर। और इस तरह हमने 7 जुलाई 1999 को जुबर को कैप्चर कर लिया। तो ये पहला मौका था 55 साल के बाद उसके, जब हिंदुस्तान की आज़ादी के बाद हमने हिंदुस्तान के झंडे के नीचे ये लड़ाई लड़ी बिहार रेजिमेंट में पहली बार, और इसमें हमने फतेह प्राप्त की। तो ऑब्वियसली हमारा हौसला बहुत ऊपर था और हम ये सोच रहे थे चलो बहुत अच्छा हुआ, रेजिमेंट का भी नाम हुआ, जवान। हाँ, यू फेल वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दिस।
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now awaiting the arrival of our chief guest, Honorable Governor of Bihar, and other dignitaries who would be amidst us in a short while from now. You may like to put your mobile phones on silent mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, on arrival of the Honorable Governor of Bihar, you are requested to kindly rise. The national anthem shall be played, followed by ceremonial lamp lighting.
May I request all dignitaries to please be on the dais? We are expecting Governor anytime.
All the dignitaries requested to please come on the dais. Very soon our chief guest will arrive at the venue, ladies and gentlemen. आप सभी से निवेदन है मुख्य अतिथि के आगमन पर आप सभी राष्ट्रगान के सम्मान में खड़े रहें। राष्ट्रगान के पश्चात मुख्य अतिथि द्वारा दीप प्रज्वलन कर इस समारोह का शुभारंभ किया जाएगा। May I request everyone to please settle down.
Request settle down, please.
May I once again request to please put your mobile phones on silent mode, please.
देवी सज्जनों, बिगुल का उद्घोष सूचक हमारे मुख्य अतिथि के आगमन का। आप सबसे निवेदन अपने स्थान पर ही बने रहें। हमारे मुख्य अतिथि के आगमन पर राष्ट्रगान की धुन बजाई जाएगी। आप सबसे निवेदन रहेगा कि आप राष्ट्रगान को उचित सम्मान देते हुए अपने स्थान पर खड़े रहें। सभी का अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए हमारे मुख्य अतिथि महोदय। May I request everyone to please rise up for national anthem. अब मैं हमारे मुख्य अतिथि से निवेदन करूंगा कि वह दीप प्रज्वलित कर इस भव्य समारोह का मंगलमय शुभारंभ करें। अपना अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें देवी और सज्जनों। मैं आई काइंडली रिक्वेस्ट टू प्लीज टेक योर सीट्स। It is an honor and privilege to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Arif Mohammad Khan, Honorable Governor of Bihar, to this esteemed seminar cum exhibition on the military heritage and culture of Bihar and
छोटा नागपुर रीजन। आज हमारे मुख्य अतिथि महोदय जिनका मार्गदर्शन और उपस्थिति अपने आप में हमारे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है, माननीय महोदय अपनी व्यस्त दिनचर्या से समय निकालकर इस विशेष कार्यक्रम में अपनी उपस्थिति से हमें गौरवान्वित किया है। आपकी उपस्थिति न केवल इस आयोजन की शोभा बढ़ा रही है, बल्कि बिहार एवं छोटा नागपुर क्षेत्रों की समृद्ध सैन्य परंपरा को समझने और उसे संरक्षित करने के लिए हमारे सभी प्रयासों को भी बल प्रदान कर रही है। I also extend a very warm welcome to our distinguished guests, scholars, esteemed speakers, and veterans who have graciously joined us today. A very hearty welcome once again to all the dignitaries on the dais. देवियों सज्जनों, बात अगर पुरातन सभ्यता और सेना की उत्कृष्ट परंपराओं की जाए, युद्ध कौशल की या फिर विजयश्री के संकल्प की, तो यकीन मानिए तस्माद् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्ते, जैसा कि गीता में कहा गया है, तस्माद् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्ते योद्धाय कृत निश्चय, कि परिपाठी वाले भारत से बेहतर भला इन परंपराओं को कौन समझ सकता है, जान सकता है। जी हाँ, वही भारत जिसे सिंधु घाटी वाला भारत भी कहा जाता है, जिसके हर एक प्रांत की एक अलग पहचान एवं गौरवशाली इतिहास है। अपना भारत तो वो भारत है जिसके पीछे संसार चला, भारत विजय या वीर गति के आदर्शों वाला भारत, जिसके शूरवीर सैनिक निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करों के उद्घोष के साथ हमेशा फतेह का नया इतिहास रचते आए हैं। देवियों सज्जनों, यह समारोह हमारी इसी स्मृत सैन्य विरासत को सहेज कर संजोकर रखने का, जन जन तक पहुंचाने का एक अभिनव प्रयास है। May I now request Major General Vikas Bhardwaj, Visist Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding Jharkhand and Bihar Sub-Area, for welcome address, please.
Jai Hind and a very good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and the youth of our nation. It is with immense honor that I extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest, Shri Arif Mohammad Khan, the Honorable Governor of Bihar, to Danapur, Cantt, and in particular the Bihar Regimental Center this morning, the alma mater of one of the finest and valorous regiments of our army. When we are at the anvil of a pioneering initiative by the Bihar Regiment and the United Services Institution to bring to fore the rich military and cultural heritage of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur region. So your gracious presence amongst us on every milestone infuses tremendous energy in our endeavors, encouraging our unwavering commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming a distinguished guest on stage, Major General Jai Singh Bansala, Sena Medal, Additional Director General Assam Rifles and Colonel of the Bihar Regiment, Lieutenant General Abhay Krishna, retired former Army Commander, Major General B.K. Sharma, retired Director General United Services Institution, Mr. Robert L. Chongtu, Principal Secretary to the Honorable Governor, Brigadier K.D. Jaspal, Commandant, Bihar Regimental Center. We are indeed privileged to have amongst us luminaries from the academia and subject matter experts who, with their deep knowledge and insights on relevant topics, would add immense value to the deliberations of the seminar. My warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, and in particular, the young and bright students from the schools and colleges and the NCC cadets, our esteemed veterans, members of the media, officers, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor to have you amongst us this morning. This seminar is a unique opportunity to absorb, assimilate, and draw inspiration from the rich military heritage from the heartland of the erstwhile Mauryan Empire. The seminar not only reinforces our shared commitment to remember and honor the legacy of sacrifices and valor of the warriors from the region, but also offers tremendous military learning value from lessons that emerge from our history over different eras. Ladies and gentlemen, Bihar and Chotta Nagpur has always been at the forefront, remaining steadfast in its contribution in the defense and security of our great nation. From the fierce resistance of our tribal warriors and freedom fighters against the British rule, to the unparalleled valor in post-independence wars, including the recent gallant actions by the Veer Biharis in Galwan. The spirit of courage and resilience runs deep in the soils of the region. My congratulations and best wishes to Colonel of the Bihar Regiment, the Commandant, Bihar Regimental Center, and I must not fail in mentioning Colonel Tejinder Hundal, Deputy Commandant, Bihar Regimental Center, who has played a key role right from the inception stage to today when the seminar finally takes shape, the Director General USI, for this pioneering initiative. I'm confident that this seminar and exhibition is a unique platform to delve into the historical, cultural, and strategic significance of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur region. Through immense deliberations, through immersive deliberations about the saga of valor and sacrifice of our ancestors and contemporary warriors, to reinvigorate a deep sense of national pride. May I once again extend a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, the Honorable Governor, distinguished panelists, and to each one of you present here. Your presence means a lot to us. May this seminar reinforce our collective commitment to duty, honor, and service to the nation. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your luminous words. May I now request Major General Jai Singh Bansla, Sena Medal, Colonel of the Bihar Regiment, one of the senior most serving officer of this regiment, presently posted as Additional Director General, Assam Rifles at Shillong, for his inaugural address, please.
Respected and Honorable Governor of Bihar, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, Lieutenant General Abhay Krishna, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Yuddh Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, ADC retired, Major General B.K. Sharma, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Sena Medal Bar, retired, and Director General of United Service Institute of India, Major General Vikas Bhardwaj, Vishisht Seva Medal, General Officer Commanding Jharkhand and Bihar Sub-area, other senior military officers present in the environment here, Shri Robert, Principal Secretary to the Honorable Governor, members of the State Administration, Vice Chancellors, and head of departments and from prominent universities, and all dignitaries and esteemed veterans who are present here, and a special warm welcome to all the young people sitting to the rear of the hall today, but who are soon to come up in the forefront of our nation. A very warm welcome to all of you to this important seminar, which is now being conducted here over the next 2 days. It is my great honor and privilege to be part of this prestigious seminar on the military heritage and culture of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur, and the associated exhibition organized at the Mora Museum of the Bihar Regimental Center. You would all be aware of Project Udbhav, which is a collaborative initiative by the Indian Army and the United Service Institute of India. It is an ongoing endeavor which is seeking to revisit, India's ancient military thoughts. It is under this project that we at the Bihar Regiment, in collaboration with the USI, take pride to organize this event as a tribute to the extraordinary history of valor, sacrifice, and unwavering patriotism demonstrated by the warriors of this region and its contributions to shaping the strategic thought of our nation. The region of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur, including the present-day states of Bihar and Jharkhand, has been the cradle of civilizational evolution in the subcontinent. The region has witnessed many socio-economic and cultural churns in the history through the transcending times, changing hands between many rulers. This region has enriched from the diverse and far-reaching traditions of political military significance. The war-fighting tradition of the Bihar and Chotta Nagpur region have extended down the Maurya Empire and its legendary military strategist Chanakya to the indomitable Veer Kunwar Singh of the 1857 First War of Independence and fierce tribal warriors like Birsa Munda. This land has produced countless heroes. There couldn't have been a more appropriate venue for the seminar than the Bihar Regimental Center, both in terms of history and our contemporary times. Danapur, or Dinapur as it was known during the British occupation of our country, was the first cantonment, and the Bihar Regimental Center is where the sons of the soil from this region trained to become soldiers and serve their motherland. This seminar, which is spread over 2 days with 5 distinct sessions, will trace from the geopolitical character of the region to the early empires and dynasties, the military culture of the region, and its contributions to the Indian Army. We have an assemblage of thinking military minds and subject matter experts from varied fields of academia and researchers, professors, historians from reputed universities to take us through this short trip of 2 days, revisit, remind, and rekindle our curiosity in the military heritage of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur regions. The seminar has an interesting facet of an exhibition at the Maurya Museum of the Bihar Regimental Center, which is a fitting tribute to the military excellence of the region, showcasing rare artifacts, historic accounts, and chronicle the journey of this region's military legacy. I urge all present here to take the time to explore this exhibition and gain a deeper understanding on the subject. This seminar is not just an academic endeavor. It is an opportunity for us to reinvigorate the spirit of patriotism and reaffirm our commitment to preserving the honor of our military traditions. As we deliberate on our past, let us also look towards the future, ensuring that the glorious heritage of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur continues to inspire the young men and women of our nation to serve with courage and dedication. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all organizers, speakers, and participants who will make this event possible. May this seminar and exhibition serve as a beacon of knowledge, remembrance, and inspiration for all. Jai Hind, thank you.
Now I request our chief guest and other dignitaries on the dais to unveil the seminar-cum-exhibition booklet on military heritage and culture of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur. This document, ladies and gentlemen, is a remarkable tribute to the brave hearts of this region, whose indomitable spirit has shaped our military heritage. It sheds light on the glorious past, the traditions, and the cultural ethos that have produced some of India's finest warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our
hands together and give a thunderous round of applause for this historic moment. तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए. यकीन मानिए ये मौका खास है क्योंकि विशेष हमारा इतिहास है और आज we all are fortunate to be part of this very event.
Major General B.K. Sharma, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, Sena Medal and Bar, was commissioned in the Sikh Light Infantry Regiment in 1976 and superannuated in 2012. He is the Director General of United Service Institution of India, India's oldest think tank established in 1870. He was conferred National Award for National Building by the Confederation of Educational Excellence of India in 2017. He has tenanted prestigious assignments in India, including command of a mountain division on China border, senior faculty member at the National Defense College, and head of Net Assessment Directorate, headquarter IDS. He has represented India at the UN as military observer in Central America and has been India's defense attaché in Central Asia. He specializes in strategic net assessment methodology, scenario building, and strategic gaming. He has edited several books and contributed more than 100 seminal papers in Indian and foreign publications. May I now request Major General B.K. Sharma for the special address, please.
Honorable Governor of Bihar, dignitaries on the stage, civil dignitaries, serving and veteran officers, NCC cadets, school children, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me as a Director General USI today to be present here at this very, very important and seminal event. I'm grateful to Bihar Regiment to give USI this opportunity to host this event here in such an important and strategically area. I just want to tell you that you've been hearing that what is this USI all about? Well, it is India's oldest policy think tank, established in 1870. And since then, it has been at the helm of affairs in shaping India's strategic culture. All the expeditions which the British had led to Central Asia, Afghanistan, their forays into Assam, integration of Myanmar into Indian subcontinent, everything was planned at the USI. The very growth of India's strategic culture is synonymous with the evolution of USI. At present, we look at a whole gambit of policy, research and advocacy, be it in the realms of geopolitics, strategic security, military affairs, niche and disruptive technology, UN at the policy and doctrinal level, skill development programs not only for Indian military officers, but also we do programs at Labasna, National Police Academy, Indian Foreign Services Institute, and host of foreign countries. One of our key centers in the USI is Center for Military History and Conflict Studies. And it has embarked upon some very important initiatives. The first one being Project Udbhav, which was launched by Honorable Raksha Mantri last year. Now, Udbhav is actually to study India's ancient Indian military system and our scriptures and converts them into a modern strategic vocabulary for the education of our own military officers and students community at large. Another important project that we have launched is Veer Gatha. Veer Gatha is an MOD initiative wherein we have created a virtual museum which captures and which propagates the sagas of valor and glory and supreme sacrifices in terms of various gallantry award holders. And we now embarked upon another very important initiative, and that is Shaurya Gatha. That is to preserve and promote of India's military heritage across the country. And under that scheme, this is one of the things that we are doing, and very soon we are going to start battlefield tourism, taking our students and public at large to important battlefields where our ancestors have shed their blood for this nation. We also started conducting MA in the international conflict studies together with the Ladakh University at USI. And for last 3 years, we've been conducting International Military Heritage Festival at Delhi, which is highly subscribed by a lot of foreigner and historians. About Bihar Regiment, I think you have seen the documentary in the morning. All it remains for me to say that is one of the finest regiments of the Indian Army. We know their slogans and their motto like Karm Hi Dharm, Veer Bihari, and this they have proved their mettle at the battlefield, be it during the Second World War or be it post-independence wars. We know what happened in Kargil, we just saw a documentary here, and subsequently at Galwan, what 16 Bihar was able to achieve. They called the Chinese bluff and gave them a bloody nose, right? So it has been aptly recognized and got so many gallantry awards and even 3 Ashok Chakras. So about this theme today, it's an extremely important theme, but we know the significance of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur, which is not only a cradle of civilization, but also a melting pot of India's strategic culture. From Mauryan Empire under Chandragupta to the indomitable leadership of Ashoka, the ancient city of Kannauj was once a crucial convergence space for Gujara, Pratiharas, Palas and Rashtrakutas kingdoms. Babu Kanwar Singh's tremendous heroic resistance during the 1857 anti-colonial resistance, and then taking it forward to the tribal uprisings, Santhal and Kol rebellion in the 19th century, and civil society movements in the 20th century. We know the Jayaprakash civil society movements. All these actually arose from this sacred land. The region is also a fountainhead of knowledge. Yesterday I visited Nalanda University and had interaction with the Vice Chancellor. We are about to sign a memorandum of understanding with Nalanda University, and then I went to the ancient site of Nalanda University, and it really impresses you that how rich our civilization has been and how it is important under the rubric of Viksit Bharat 2047 that we must revive and this renaissance must take place. So the region is also known for Arthashastra, what you call is the Niti Sara, which is spoken all over the world today. So I'm sure that with the events like this, it will add more gravitas to the significance of this region. The region also forms a very important catchment area for recruitment into Bihar Regiment and into Maha Regiment. So accordingly, we have organized this 2-day seminar here at the center, and I'm sure this seminar, there are 5 essential components, which I think the Colonel of the regiment has already explained. I'm sanguine that the seminar will set a new benchmark in historical research and encourage participation of the regional academia and civil population in understanding the region's civilizational past and its contribution in India's freedom struggle and the consolidation of the very democracy in India. We hope that other regimental centers of the Indian Army, particularly infantry, will take a cue from this signature initiative, and we would embark upon similar initiatives in different parts of our country. With these words, I wish the seminar a great success. Thank you very much for being with us. Jai Hind.
May I now request our chief guest for the keynote address, please.
Thank you. Major General Shri Vikas Bhardwaj ji, GOC of Jharkhand and Bihar sub-area, Principal Secretary to Governor Shri Robert L. Chongthu, Brigadier K.D. Jaspal ji, Commandant Bihar Regimental Center, Major General Jai Singh Bensla ji, Director General of Assam Rifles, Major General B.K. Sharma ji, AVSM, Mahanideshak of United Service Institution, Lieutenant General Abhay Krishan ji, members of our armed forces, Deviyo and Sajjano. First, I must express my gratitude for your kind invitation and giving me this opportunity to meet so many of our brave souls, and I'm very happy to see good number of students from the university, some universities and colleges. I am sure this will give them a great opportunity to know more about our defense forces. We have, every country has its defense forces, and carefully the ministries are described as Ministry of Defense, and we call them defense forces, to give the message that these forces are not meant for aggression, rather they are for defending our borders, our security and our integrity. But the fact is that with the sole exception of India, every powerful country in the past worth its name has committed aggressions. And those aggressions are still continuing. India is the only, I would say here, instead of using the word country, I would say India is the only civilization, only culture, mostly because of its civilizational and cultural legacy and the belief system which came to us as a result of that, where we saw in each human being extension of our own self. we saw divinity in mankind. The great prophet of Indian Renaissance, Swami Vivekananda, he said, my mission can be explained in very simple words. I want to teach unto mankind their divinity and its manifestation in all movements of life. Now, if we consider these things with seriousness, then we come to know that one of the greatest Indian ideal has been how to live my life. Then one of the greatest ideal is abhay, fearlessness. To the extent that in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna tells Arjuna, Yasman nodvijate loko lokan nodvijate chaya harsho marsh bhayo degor mukte ya sa cha me priya. I love one who never tries to scare anybody, frighten anybody, nor is he fearful of anybody. And such a person is free from harsho marsh. If there are good circumstances, he does not feel unduly elated. If there are difficult circumstances, then he does not feel depressed. Such a person is very dear to me. What is the moral? Moral is fearlessness. How to ensure fearlessness? If you have this lurking fear in your mind that you can be attacked any time from outside. So our defense forces are response to create an environment of fearlessness. We are able to sleep peacefully in the night because, and they have taken, this duty has not been imposed on them. They have taken it voluntarily, knowingly the risks which are involved. But they spend sleepless nights in places where even during the summer here, the temperature is less than, it goes to minus 32 to 40. And they spend sleepless nights in the deserts, where even in the night it's so hot. And they have taken it upon themselves willingly. So we are eternally grateful to them. And we know that providing security does not mean merely providing physical security. Ours is an ancient civilization. There have been many ancient civilizations, but today the countries which nurtured those civilizations have no living connect with their old values and ideals. Indian civilization is distinct in the sense that it is continuous. The same ideals and values which enthralled Indians few thousand years back, they continue to inspire the Indians even today. Same values, same ideals. And that is why we call them eternal values. Sanatan is the name. Sanatan is for eternal. Something which is not subject to change. If you jump from a height of 500 meters today, somebody tries to jump, he will break his bones. And so was the case 10,000 years back. Eternal values. So it's not only a question of providing, what you are doing is not only providing physical security to us. You are also protecting our way of life, which is based on these eternal values and ideals. And that is why you are so important to us, why we are beholden to you. That atmosphere, environment of fearlessness, we can pursue our professions, our vocations, our callings, because we know that you are there on the border, and you are not only there on the border. Whenever any natural calamity hits us anywhere in the country, you are the first to reach there. It's with your assistance that our civil administration provides relief, rehabilitates people who are affected. And the place where you are holding this seminar, for all practical purposes, this region was the capital of India for long period of time. We can only imagine. Last night I was, last few days I have been very busy, so late evening I came back, and I was going through only to check, see, Bihar Through Ages, a book which was compiled few decades back by Shri R.R. Divakar, who was governor of Bihar, only to know the history. It's a comprehensive book. It deals with every subject. But I wanted to know about the military history of this region. So actually, today we have this Cantt. Apart from this Cantt, there are other Cantts also in Bihar? This is the only one. But sometime in the past, the military, the forces of two great empires, they were stationed here. And then we have the history. I was just now seeing this paper, which has a small souvenir which has been released today. You have mentioned many names. People who have contributed a great deal. And they have provided not only services, but when occasion arose, they did not hesitate to lay down their lives. One more point I would like to make, that definitely it is the defense forces who create for us the environment of fearlessness. But they also need something to inspire them, because they are there. They are facing the bullets directly. What makes them fearless? That they are ready to lay down their lives. Undoubtedly, it is their patriotism, their commitment to their motherland, sense of duty. All these things are there. But we have something in our cultural heritage also. Sometimes we may be aware of it, sometimes we may not be aware of it. It may be part of our conscious thinking, sometimes it may be in our subconscious, but it is there. In order to create an atmosphere of fearlessness, now imagine, large armies are standing facing each other. The commander of one of the army, 5 minutes बचे हैं या 5 minutes? Okay. The commander of one of the army develops timidity, confusion. His mind is gripped by confusion and fear, and he sees that those with whom he is going to be engaged in fight, which means killing them or being killed by them, they are close relatives. Among them is the guru, among them is the grandfather, and he drops his arms. Arjun. Then Bhagwan Krishna gives him, it's a long discourse of more than 700 shlokas in Gita. And after telling him, after enlightening him, finally he says, Yaj gyatva na puna moham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhutani asheshena dirakshyasi atmani athomayi. This knowledge of the self which I have given you, if you really internalize it, then you will never become victim of delusion. And the essence of this teaching is that a person who has this knowledge, he looks at everybody as extension of his own self. Atmani, he sees himself in that person. Athomai, and he sees that person in me. What does that mean? Last time when I was here, I had quoted that, and I'm going to repeat it because I think that is of great value and importance. That if I have to see everybody as extension of my own self, it prescribes the acquisition of all kind of knowledge. That is soft power, which shapes your way of life. This is how we live our lives. But at the same time, you should be armed with weapons so that you can not only protect yourself, you can also protect your way of life. Agrta chatro veda prashta sasharam dhanu idam brahmam idam shastram idam brahmam idam chatram Shastradapi, Shastradapi. First, to defend yourself, to protect your way of life, use the power of logic, the soft power. But if the aggressor is not ready to listen to reason and only believes in the logic of power, then you must be adequately prepared to meet such challenges. First Shastra and then Shastra. You are our Shastra. You are there to deal with those who do not believe in the power of logic. They only know logic of power. And I am sure that, you will forgive me for not speaking much about the legacy of this area. You know very well. I have only recently taken over, and I'm trying to become familiar with the great traditions of this region. But whatever I have learned is, so far I have learned is that this area, Bihar, Jharkhand, these were the seeds of the great empires of India. Large armies were stationed here. And this area has a great golden heritage, because so many youngsters are there. Therefore, I would especially appeal to them to become more aware and more familiar with this heritage. And every society, every civilization goes through this cycle of rise and fall. We should again try to become once again aware of this great heritage and do our best to revive it. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights on the subject.
May I now request Major General Jai Singh Bensla, Sena Medal, Colonel of the Bihar Regiment, to kindly present token of our gratitude to our chief guest and other dignitaries, please.
May I also request Major General Vikas Bhardwaj Visist Seva Medal to present token of remembrance to Major General Jai Singh Bensla. Thank you, sir. May I now request Brigadier Kamaldeep Jaspal, Commandant, the Bihar Regiment Center, Danapur, for vote of thanks, please.
Thank you. Jai Hind. Most respected Honorable Governor of Bihar, Shri Arif Mohammad Khan sir, esteemed guests sitting on the dais, and those in front of me of the Indian Army, the state administration, and the civil society, mostly from the academia, including the Vice Chancellor, the head of the department, the professors, students, NCC cadets, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. At the very outset, let me thank on behalf of our Colonel of the Regiment, the USI and our GOC, Jharkhand and Bihar sub-area, thank the Honorable Governor for his presence during this very special and a unique event which is being organized jointly by the BRC and the USI, one of the country's oldest and premier think tanks. Honorable Governor sir, as Commandant, I genuinely don't have words to express our gratitude and to convey how privileged we feel having an erudite luminary, a discerning scholar, and a distinguished person of your stature amongst us today. We have been fortunate to have your presence amongst us for the third time since January this year, sir. And if I can take this liberty, I must admit that each time we've had an opportunity of your presence, we've heard you, the degree of reverence has multiplied exponentially like the way you spoke today, sir. Both of us and for the USI, it is a matter of great honor to have the presence of Honorable Governor of Bihar today when we embark upon this journey of intellectually stimulating and pride-instilling voyage of discussing and showcasing the proud military heritage and culture of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur region. My special thanks to Major General B.K. Sharma, Ati Vishis Seva Medal, Sera Medal and Bar retired, the Director General USI and his team of the enterprising professionals for putting up this together and making it happen today, sir. There's no way that we could have organized this seminar without the kind of support that we got from you. I must also thank the esteemed guest speakers who are amazingly reputed and experts in the field for traveling all the way to Danapur. It becomes a special occasion when we get to hear the achievers, the leaders, scholar warriors like General Abhay Krishna, one of the most profound and decorated generals of the Indian Army, having been conferred Param Vishis Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishis Seva Medal, Vishis Seva Medal, ADC, whom we also proudly introduce as son of the soil, hailing from this region, carrying forward the legacy of rich military heritage, ethos and culture. And in fact, all these speakers, there's no doubt that next 2 days are going to be truly enlightening and enriching for us once you share your thoughts and insights in this auditorium. A special mention of Mr. Chongtu, the Principal Secretary to the Governor, who is also needed, as you've been a great support for us in organizing the exhibition that we have outside for our guests to witness, sir. Our gratitude to the Colonel of the Regiment, Major General Jai Singh Bansla, Sena Medal, who despite his extremely busy schedule as the Additional Director General of Assam Rifles, he has been guiding force and the mentor in true sense. With leaders like him, any task of this magnitude becomes so much simpler. And of course, Major General Vikas Bhardwaj, VSM, our GOC, who always has our back. Right from the time we were trying to envision this, what we wanted, particularly since this was the maiden effort that we are doing, to the planning, its execution, the general officer and his staff has a major role in enabling us and facilitating us. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, sir. A big thank you to the audience for whom we have put up this entire show. You, the bright members of academia, smart and dynamic cadets of NCC, and each one of you present here in this auditorium are the reason and motivating factors for us as organizers. Our efforts will bear fruit only once you all, having participated in this event, work in this field further and spread the glory all across in the manner it deserves to be told and carried forward. I must also thank the media person for covering this event and being the major bridge between us and those who for various reasons couldn't have been here physically present, and in fact to the entire environment who needs to be told and reminded about the saga of this region. I would fail in my duties if I don't make a mention of my team at the BRC and Records, whom I have always been so proud of. Each one of you, of course led by our able Deputy Commandant, have been working 24/7 to make this event happen. You all are fabulous, to say the least. Our Deputy Commandant, incidentally, sir, has a degree in PhD and has already authored 2 books in last about couple of years. Finally, while thanking all of those who have been involved directly and indirectly in organizing this two-day seminar, I once again would like to express our most sincere gratitude to the Honorable Governor of Bihar for gracing this occasion with the promise that not only these 2 days, but we shall continue to work in this field of exploring the rich military heritage and culture of Bihar and Chotta Nagpur. May we all remain steadfast in our commitments to preserving history and inspiring the future generations. Thank you all and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. All are requested, ladies and gentlemen, to please rise for a national anthem.
May I request all the dignitaries to proceed to exhibition ground. The Bihar and Chotta Nagpur regions, renowned for their rich military heritage, serve as the primary recruitment area for the Bihar Regiment of the Indian Army. This exhibition features the contributions of 4 key agencies: the Bihar Regimental Center, Maurya Museum, Bihar State Archives, Khuda Bakhsh Oriental Library, and the Planet Patna Patter Archives. Through this exhibition, visitors will gain a deeper understanding of the military legacy and cultural heritage of this region, exploring their geopolitical significance, historical military contributions, and unique military culture. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We invite you to proceed to the exhibition ground. Please join us for the exhibition, followed by tea.
Sir, please.
All are requested to please move for tea outside. सभी से विनम्र निवेदन है, जलपान के लिए बाहर लॉन में प्रस्थान करें।
ऐसे करवा लो, 4 लगा दो बीच में।
All are requested to please settle down so that we can start with our first session. JCO इंचार्ज, जितने भी बाहर गेस्ट हैं उनको अंदर बुलाइए. स्टूडेंट्स, जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स, एनसीसी कैडेट्स, please settle down.
हाँ लाइव लाइव ही है.
Hello, check. Hello, check.
Kindly settle down, please.
Hello, check. Please settle down, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can start with our first session. ऐसे साहब जितने भी बाहर गेस्ट हैं उनको अंदर बैठाइए, उनको बुलाइए. सेशन स्टार्ट होने वाला है. I again request you can put your mobile phone on silent mode, please. is a serving army officer who is deeply interested in history, in general and South Asian military and religio-cultural history in particular. His work, namely Boots, Hooves and Wheels, framing the Mahabharata, and several research papers take a multidisciplinary approach in the hope of capturing these aspects of humanity's military endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Colonel Bose on the stage, please. With pleasure, I introduce our second panelist, Dr. Azad Hind Kulshan Nanda, a postdoctoral fellow in the School of Historical Studies at Nalanda University. His doctoral research entitled Mahaviras of Early India, Networks, Interaction and Cultural Exchanges examined the historical geography of Nalanda, Mahavira and its surrounding areas.
A very good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to the first session of this two-day conference. And I've been asked to introduce the theme of natural advantages of the region and geopolitical characteristics. So, as a student of history, one of the most remarkable contributions came from the French Annales historians, Lucien Febvre and Marc Bloch. And Lucien Febvre wrote a book on the geographical introduction to history. And he emphasized geography as the spatial stage in which human drama unfolds. And just to kick off the conversation on the military heritage of Bihar and Jharkhand, Chotta Nagpur Plateau, I think it's necessary to see both these regions as a space in which, over the long term, massive agrarian expansion has taken place. So at some stage there was primeval forests in these areas, but as human habitation, especially after the introduction of iron technology, large-scale felling was made possible, and more land became arable. It came under cultivation, and that generated the material background upon which state formation, state building could happen. As we know, only upon a regular sustained surplus can a state come up. And without the state, a large standing army is virtually impossible, because you have to feed a certain warrior class, give them a vocation, a certain continuity. So over this, once this surplus was made sustainable, you also have a certain binary emerging in which Aranya, or the forest, were pitched in opposition to the gram, which was a human habitation. And it is these gram and habitational spaces which eventually developed into states and city-states to begin with. So the first urbanism in Indian subcontinent is the Harappan civilization, but the second urbanism begins in 6th century BCE, and amongst the 16 Mahajanpadas which emerged, Magad became the most important, and it eventually grew to be the core of a first all-India, pan-India empire, which we know Mauryas and Emperor Ashoka established. So it is in this context of sustained surplus population growth, in which there was manpower available for both cultivation, expansion of cultivation, and specialization into emergence of a specialized warrior military class that sets the stage for the emergence of first state imperial formations in this region. So I welcome Colonel Bose and my friend Azad, who were joining us for this session, and you'll be given 15 minutes each. So we begin with Colonel Bose, and
I'll speak from there. I think it will be better. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be able to speak with you. One of the first sessions on this subject. I will talk not just of the Sepoy legacy, but the wider Purab legacy, which we have been discussing since the morning, and which we know has been very important to the military history of any region. Now, if we look at any geosphere, any ecosphere, why is that ecology important? Not all ecologies are important. Some ecologies have got some unique conjunctions, like, can you see those yellow lines here on this? These are migratory corridors. Why is Delhi Delhi? Because it is at the hub of those migratory corridors. It can tap into various forms of military resources on either side of these, of where it is, as well as it can dominate a very important aspect which used to travel along those migratory corridor, which was the horse. Similarly, when we talk of the Puram, which is the subject of our discussion here today, it has got traditionally 3 or 4 very important advantages, which we will discuss one by one. So this is in the context of the military labor market. First, when we talk of labor market, or when we talk of market, we will talk of how the supplies are coming, and this is coming because of these 4 large geopolitical or geospherical advantages. Thereafter, we will see how these supplies that have come from this market have been used historically over the period just up to a few decades ago or a little while ago, right? So we will talk first of the geographical advantages of this period. The chair has already mentioned how the expansion of iron allowed for agricultural states here. So just take your attention to this map on the left. This is a generic distribution of rainfall patterns in India. This is a modern map. Of course, historically it has been varying. It is not that this has been how it has been exactly. But largely, if you now notice on the map on the right, you see those places which have been highlighted green are areas of heavier rainfall. They are humid areas which permit 2 to 3 crops a year, which automatically supports a large agricultural population which specializes in this agriculture, which also supports a large non-agricultural population because of the surplus created by this agriculture. In contrast, the other areas which are not highlighted, these are arid areas. They support maximum 1 crop a year. Otherwise, largely these are pastoral areas. They are more for nomadic pastorals. So here, the populations are less, agriculture is seasonal, and therefore manpower availability for non-agricultural activities is also seasonal. So that is the first advantage of this area. Let's look at the second. Now you see here, is there a pointer? Okay, never mind. You see these blue dots here distribute. Is this pointer working? Anyway, okay. Now this is a distribution of iron ores, iron mines in India. Now if you look, there is a large arc from the north to the south in the west, around Rajasthan and those areas. These are small sporadic deposits of iron. There is a large concentration of iron mines in the area of which is south of the area that we are interested in, or we are talking of, that is the Purab. That is in the areas of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, in those areas, right? So this translates into a very interesting thing here. Now, all these three sketches on the left are kilns from the area of Kharadi. Kharadi is a little north of Derry on Somme, a little southwest of this area. These, as well as that, the other picture, the colored picture, which is from Danapur, that Losanwa is near Lucknow. Right? These are iron mines which are permanently constructed on ground, and they can handle larger batches of iron ore. So what is happening is that larger amounts of iron can be processed at one time, and the quality of that iron can also be more homogeneous than the other type or other tradition of iron making in India. You may have seen people like this. I have seen them in the streets of Delhi a few years ago. They are not visible these days. They are called the Gadulia Lohars, Lohars with cars or carts. They will establish themselves on the pavements, and they can make iron implements, but they have small portable kilns for which they are using bellows. They don't have large permanent kilns like the ones which, like the other four pictures. So what is happening is, whatever they produce can be of very high quality, but they are of small size. So they can produce very nice khunjars and dirks and daggers. But the moment you start talking of mass production, the moment you start talking of artillery, we are not really talking of artillery now. So there is a big difference. So you see, that is the second geographical advantage of the Purab. First, we already spoke of the high population densities which are available. For employment, we will see how they were employed. The next one is iron. Next, we come to distribution of elephants. So you'll ask me why elephants are important for when we are talking of recruitment. But you see, it will be clear here. Those dark blue striated areas are the elephant ranges. There are some along the Himalayas, there are of course in the northeast, there are also in the south. But again, there are dense elephant-bearing forests in the eastern part of the region. Unfortunately, this picture has got shifted. But anyway, these elephant-bearing forests have been strategically very important resources, because elephants have long childhoods. They become whether it is for elephant doing labor work or whether it's elephants doing military work, elephants become effective. Now you can't, I mean, it was very, very uneconomical to grow elephants, to breed elephants in captivity and feed them for 16 years and then use them. So elephants were always tried to be captured first generation. So these forests were always strategic assets. And kings used to try and make good relations, maintain good relations with the tribal rulers, the tribal heads who used to populate these forests. And they used to also capture, launch elephant capturing raids, not only into forests of their own, but also into forests which are controlled by enemy kings. Though such references are repeatedly available in our ancient writing. So that makes it the third advantage of the Purab. The fourth advantage, which is potassium nitrate, became important only 300 or 400 years ago. Since the time, matchlocks and firearms became important. You know, potassium is one of the three components of, saltpeter is one of the three components of gunpowder, the others being charcoal and sulfur. Now, these can be found. I mean, there are no real mines for it. They come out as efflorescence on forest floors, in marshes, bogs. You may have seen very wet, damp walls also start exuding potassium nitrates. Even people's privies can release potassium nitrate. But the potassium nitrate fields all over India have been dispersed, but good quality potassium nitrate have been found in the areas of Tirhut and Purnia. They have been used for many purposes, fireworks, of course, poisonous smoke, but now, it is only now, from the 16th, especially the 17th century onwards, their use as propellants in gunpowder became more and more important. Otherwise, they've been used for a variety of purposes. Now, these two castes, Nunia and Labana, have been referred to many times in ancient writings pertaining to this area, from the Maurya times, from the Buddhist writings. You may have heard of these, you may have heard of a community called the Labana, which are very similar to the Banjaras, trading communities. The Nunias used to collect the salt from the forest floors and other places, and the Lebanese were largely involved in the marketing of that, of the saltpeter. Okay, but the whole point was that the saltpeter quality was good, but the method of working it, the method of cleansing it, purifying it, and then mixing it with the other components and creating gunpowder was quite crude, which is evident in these photographs. These photographs are not very old. They're from the 60s or 70s. This is the technique that is still used for traditional saltpeter making. All right. It became very different when, with the establishment of English political power, the saltpeter making industry was converted into milled powders. So the milled powder was far more regular in size, the granules were like regular, therefore you could really predict how much force will be imparted by a certain amount of propellant. So you could very easily create weapons, create firearms that could have regular ranges, unlike handmade saltpeter, gunpowder made of, in the traditional methods, which could not be very, very accurate. I mean, somebody would fire only up to 200 meters, the next round could go 500 meters. All right. So, with these, I've just been very, very superficial and overall about these 4 advantages. Of course, the advantages are far more nuanced and there are many more things. We can go on talking endlessly about them. They created something called the military labor market, which is nothing, simply put, the supply and demand for military labor. Now, what is happening is because of these advantages which we spoke of, there was, I require some more time. I require a little more time. Yeah. So, the Eastern kings, there was a large amount of military supplies and people ready to work in the armies from this area. But now historically we will see that if there were strong kings in this area, like the kings of Magad, they could employ everyone, create huge armies, chaturangas. Right? If those kings were gone, there would be different methods of using or employing or enlisting these people. Now, this was almost a rite of passage. This I will speak separately to the Bihar Regimental Center. You may have heard of the Baramasya class of poetry. They are very, very militarily important, but they are getting lost. I will speak with Colonel Hundal separately. Maybe something could be done about collecting and preserving these Baramasyas. Maybe what I write in that last bullet is clear. We can discuss it later. Okay, very quickly we will go over. We have seen the supply part now. We will see how the demand part, how these people were used. So we have heard of very complex battle arrays in the past. Largely, there are many references in the Arthashastra as well in the Greek chroniclers, like by Strabo, who said that these soldiers of the Magad Empire, Maurya Empire, they were involved in leisure activities and they used to spend their time in drinking bouts as long as they were not fighting. And when they retired, they had to return their weapons, which means what? They were standing armies. They were permanently recruited and kept. When there was no strong king, these people were available for other types of employment. So, we have heard of the Chaturanga, which means only largely four military components, which is a large mass of infantry, led by elephants, which is why I mentioned elephants now. So that was the main way of fighting of these people. Chariots and horses were largely in auxiliary roles. We will not go over it. Later, we find other versions of this Chaturanga which had become like into the Saptang. Now, after Magad, what happened is we find, that is the first time we find long distance Purabiya mercenary soldiering traditions coming in. Right? So we find even in the Rajtarangani Purabiya, soldiers from this area mentioned as serving in the armies of Kashmir. The infantry component of the garrison of Chittor was largely people from this area. The commanders and the cavalry was local from that area, but the infantry component was people from this area. And we'll quickly come to these spots. You may be familiar with these names, Datia, Jhansi, Ocha. Now, who were these people? These were not really kings. They were very strong people who we can call colonel commandants. They had good relations and friends with people here. This area where we are, this was the heartland of Ujjainiya Pawar recruitment. There are other areas also. So the kings here of whatever, whether it is Panna or Chanderi, they had good relations with the zamindars and other people here. They used to get infantry supplies. With those infantry supplies, they used to raise large regiments, which they used to put at the disposal of kings of the West, whether it could be Rana Sanga, whether it was Bahadur Shah of Gujarat, whether it could be later Mughals. Right? Just one minute. Now, they never declared sovereignty, but they were kingmakers. But slowly, we have heard of the tale of Siladi and Rana Sanga. Siladi's conduct at the Battle of Khanwa was not very honorable, but still he was important for Rana Sanga, so Rana Sanga made up with him later. Now, after the colonel commandants, the earlier Mughals and the Sher Shah, they destroyed the colonel commandant families one by one. Others were recruited and turned into mansabdars. We have this person, Veer Singh Devbandela. Quickly, this is also the time when saltpeter starts becoming more and more important, because this is a time when matchlocks were important. Now, you may have heard of the Bondilar caste in Tamil Nadu. Bondilar caste are, so this is an indicator of long distance soldiering. These Bundela soldiers, the commandants were Bundelas. The soldiers were recruited from this area. And now we have this Tamil ballad, Desingu, that is to do with these Bondeliars here. And with the coming of drilled infantry, the French pioneered the injection of soldiers in the European patterns. That started with the Telingas, but later it was the English who took over because of many organizational advantages. Service with the East India Company was considered far more attractive to the sepoys of this area rather than with the French. And also there were several competitive recruitment that was going on. Sabit Khan, Chet Singh had a fight followed with Hastings because of this. Now, when we talk of sepoys, in 1764, we'll just complete this at the end of this slide. If something is prepared for all right. So, we will leave out what invalid thanas are, that maybe you can read up separately. But after this Battle of Buxar, this entire area passed into the recruitment zone of the East India Company, which is the reason, and they were very good employers and paymasters, which is the reason they were so successful. Now, I will quickly tell you about this. Before the Cornwallis reforms of 1796, most of the sepoys were under command their own officers. The Subedars were company commanders almost. Each battalion commander had only 2 to 4 English officers. Each battalion had only 2 to 4 English officers. Like they used to go there, like we used to go on posting to Assam Rifles or to Rashtriya Rifle. They used to go with tenure-based posting. It was only after the 1796 Cornwallis reforms that the entire structure of these fields changed. Before that, these were largely under their own commandants. Here, we have up to 1850. Why? This is the last slide. We will not go into the slide next to it. Up to 1805, most wars were within the sepoy ambit. After that, the sepoys started stepping outside the sepoy ambit, which they were not able to fight there because they were used to fighting in large drilled formations. If they were taken to Nepal, if they were taken to the hills of Burma, outside the plains of Rangoon, they could not fight well there. So although many of these battles they won, their relation with the British started deteriorating. Now, that was also the time when the focus of employment shifted to Mansabdari, irregular horses. This was the time when all these, all these irregular horse regiments started coming up. And infantry recruitment, the focus of infantry recruitment shifted away from Purab for a long time. After 1857, for a long time, there was a big hiatus, which all of you would have been aware that before recruitment from this area was restored, the program had been shifted. Okay. We'll not talk of what the fishing fleet is. Many people who know about the fishing fleet would be laughing. And in conclusion, so long durée observations are, this area has been ready to provide infantry soldiery of a certain type. There are many types of infantry soldiery before the firearms. There were banats, bankurts, lacrats, various types of soldiers with various types of skills with swords and various sword fighting skills. Later, when there were strong monarchs, all of them could be raised into one single army which dominated everyone, which is the reason we have been hearing again and again that this used to be one of the capitals of India. When such strong kings were not available, this same infantry was available for recruitment through various other channels. Whether it was under the colonel commandants of central India or under smaller jobber commanders. Right, there were various recruitment stages. The EC has been the most successful in all this competitive recruitment. And this last point, the bonhomie of the sepoys with the English, that was destroyed in 1857 because of a series of reasons. Now, okay, so this is as much as maybe if you have some questions, we can take it on later. As of now, this is one. Right. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Colonel Bose.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all. Respected Chair Sir, all the dignitaries, my faculties, some of my former faculties, and my friends. I will be speaking today on shifting frontiers, geopolitical determinants, and early state formation in the Middle Ganga Plain. But before beginning that, let me express my sincere gratitude and thanks for giving me this opportunity to present here. Thank you. This is a distinguished honor for me to present in front of you all. In my presentation, I will be mainly focusing on early state formation in the Middle Ganga Plain. Primarily, I will be looking on this part of the region. As we all know, Magad was the seat of a very strong political power hold in ancient times, and Patliputra was the capital, and we are standing just next to it in this place. But as Patliputra emerged as a capital of ancient Magadha, before that, Rajgriha was the first capital of the ancient Magad. And I will be taking through this time journey to move to Rajgriha as the first state of Magad as a Mahajanpad emerged in this region. There were different geopolitical factors that led to that emergence of Rajgriha. As capital moved from Rajgriha to Patliputra, the frontiers also kept changing. It was not only the capital which was changing, but the frontiers also kept changing. The frontiers were changing in the way that it was expansive and embraced all of the Indian subcontinent under its fold. And so, I will go very briefly, as Honorable Chair has already introduced the topic about the Mid-Ganga Basin in a brief. The region, which is very fertile and conducive for agricultural growth, this had a remarkable contribution to the growth of cities in this area. There were a number of fortified cities, urban towns, and large settlement areas emerged up in this region, especially in the Middle Ganga Basin, which was very fertile and had abundant of resources. The tributaries of Ganga, such as Ghagra, Gandak, and Kosi, all of them brought alluvium, and which all, along with that Bhangar and Khadar soil, they were rich in organic and mineral deposits, which were conducive for agricultural growth. Besides that, in Chotta Nagpur region, those were in itself very abundant in mineral resource rich areas. Bhagalpur, as we know, this was rich in iron, copper ore, and also yielding forest products such as millets, wax, and honey. Silk was also being reared in the areas of Munger in ancient past. So all of these favored for a probable growth of settlement in this region. And then the earliest settlement that began up in the Rajagriha, that because of security and natural fortification that was being provided by the hills, automatically Rajagriha emerged gradually as a powerful stronghold of this place. It exerted an influence over a fixed territorial unit, which we all know as Mahajanpadas, and Magad emerged as a powerful Mahajanpada. So during this iron NVPW phase, we see that there is a socio-political convergence in this Middle Ganga Plain. In Rajagriha, when this early state formation were happening, when Magad as a powerful seat of political stronghold was emerging up, what we find, some of the geopolitical factors that help in its growth. Rajagriha in itself is surrounded by 5 hills, and which provides a natural fortification to the city from all kind of external threats. We have Vyavhara, Vipula, Shala, Udaya, and Sonagiri. In different texts, these hills finds different references. They have different names. The earliest origin of Rajagriha comes from Ramayana, where it is called Vashumati and then in Mahabharata as Girvaja, and later on Rajagriha. This name appears in Hathi Gumpa inscription, which again calls Rajagriha as a garrison town. a place meant for all kind of military activities. So we have different names that keeps appearing for all of these hills, which provides a natural fortification to the city in itself, and that in fact led to it secure this place from all kind of external threat. And so the earliest settlement which we find in this region goes even back to Paleolithic era. We have discovered some Paleolithic stone tools from this place, some rock paintings from the valley area, which probably takes the settlement history back to maybe probably more than 1 lakh years ago. And so there is a continuous habitation and settlement in this region, and that was favored by the resource richness that is being driven from Chotta Nagpur plateau and the mid-Ganga basin, which our earlier speaker have already discussed in detail. This is just a topographical map of Rajgriha. These are the 5 hills. There are 2 subsidiary hills which makes total 7 hills that encircles the ancient valley, and the ancient Rajgriha was located within this valley area. Now, a very unique aspect of what we find in Rajgriha is a distinct arrangement of the past, which probably we don't know the exact dating when it was constructed, but this is a very distinct kind of wall that runs along all of this hill, all of the 5 hills, and this is approximately, in my research, it goes up to 48 kilometer in length. However, other scholars have interpreted in a different way. So Rajgir has emerged as a strong citadel of power. It also, what we find is that there are 3 different kind of spatial layer of security arrangement that was there in the past. And those, the outer fortification, inner fortification, and a new fortification that appeared much later. The outer fortification is a form of undressed stone boulders which runs along all over the hill, and that is called Cyclopean wall. The name appears itself from Greek mythology, a demon Cyclope whose appearance, who used to construct massive walls, and on which this name has appeared. Now, there is the second kind of fortification that runs within the valley, that is inner fortification made of mud, and then there is a new fortification which appears from much later stage. Now, when the first British explorer visited this place, Francis Buchanan, he doesn't mention about this. Later on, John Marshall mentions about Cyclopean wall, but he calls that this belongs to pre-Buddhist period, most probably. Later on, Cunningham also calls it to be pre-Buddhist period, but there were further researchers, many of them taking inspiration from Majjhima Nikaya. They call that this fortification done during the time of Ajatasattu. However, that Majjhima Nikaya mentions of a fortification which probably talks about the new fortification that was done during the time of Ajatasattu, when the city or the capital was shifting from the valley to the Patliputra. Just a picture of the outer fortification, Cyclopean wall, from the Vanganga area in Rajgir, from where the fortification is completely visible, easily visible. Now, the earliest reference of this probably goes to Mahabharata. We don't know it actually speaks about Cyclopean wall or some other wall, but that talks that when Krishna, along with Bhima and Arjuna, arrived to Rajgriha to fight with Jarasandha in a combat battle, they breached a wall and then entered the city. And probably they might be referring to this Cyclopean wall. So that's the earliest reference that we come. However, most of the Buddhist text or any other text from the region or from other beside that doesn't talk anything about this Cyclopean wall. So probably by the time of Buddhism, this wall was already no longer in use. Suen Chang mentions about this wall and calls it to be of 150 li, but he says that the wall was no longer in use. It was in very vandalized and dilapidated conditions. So there is no mentioning of that, what this wall is all about. Now, when while working in the university as a part of a project, Rajgir Archaeological Survey project, I had the opportunity to walk over this wall. So so far the extent measurement of the wall, what we call or what we can call a stone fortification, was called to be was based on Suen Chang account, and it was expected to be 12.5 kilometer. As Suen Chang mentions, 50 li or 150 li, some scholar called 50 li, and that measurement goes to 12.5 kilometer. According to another interpretation, if it is 150 li, it may be some meter. But during our walk on several fortification, and that takes the length even further up to 48 kilometer. And these are some of the pictures of the Cyclopean wall that comes from Bihar Hill. On Bihar Hill, again, the Cyclopean wall that has been always referred to and that comes in all of the maps, appears in different maps and surveys. There is only one wall that comes, and that has been marked in the red line, which appears as a small stone boulders arranged in this fashion. However, while my exploration, we found two different branches of the wall. One is this, and the other is this, which has a width of around more than 17 meter and height of around 3 to 5 meter, which varies at different distances. Now here it appears that this wall or fortification functions in two different ways. One as providing security to the ancient city, as the wall runs along the ridges of the hill, from where there could be a close observation of the valley area. But at the same time, this wall also functions in a way of a pathway where people can travel across over this to reach on the top of the hill, and then they can visit other religious sites which emerge much later, as most of the temples are located within a distance of 5 to 10 meter on the two sides of this wall. Now, during our walk on Bihar Hill, we also found some of the traces of stairs along this wall, which probably suggests that this fortification functioned in multiple ways over different periods of time. This is just again the part of the Cyclopean wall which is visible. Thank you. From one end. This is again from Bihar Hill, some of the pictures showing the Cyclopean wall which runs along the ridges of the hill. Then this is the modern pathway, and the Cyclopean wall, one section of the Cyclopean wall runs parallel to this. These are how stone boulders are arranged in this in the wall, Cyclopean wall. This is the picture of Cyclopean wall from other hills, from Udayagiri, which is another hill of the in Rajgir. We can see the wall running along all of the hill, and there we find the approximate height up to 13 meter. This is some of the pictures. We have different branches of the Cyclopean wall of varying length. At one point, at certain sections, we have the Cyclopean wall fortification of 13 to 15 meter in width, whereas at some of the places it is just of 2 meters or even less than that, with a smaller stone boulders being used. This is just a section of the Cyclopean wall from Banganga area. Again, now while doing this exploration work, we also found different bastions, watchtowers and observation posts. This is one of those which we discovered on Bipulanchalgiri. This is what we can call, may have been used by saints, seekers and mendicants for while they travel. But this is located on a very strategic location from where whole of the valley area can be observed. And there is a window inside this, from where the whole valley is visible. So there seems to be this Cyclopean wall. Along this Cyclopean wall, several bastions were constructed. Along with that, several observation posts also. Some different sections of the wall. These are some of the bastions or watchtowers which are constructed on a very strategic location from where there could be a good visibility of the city area, of the ancient valley area. Now, we don't find much mention of this wall in different texts. But however, the architecture and the construction appears that it probably predates the Buddhist period, before 6th century BCE. And by the 6th century BCE, it may have functioned in a different uses. Now, these are parts of inner fortifications, which are mud walls, which runs along the plain area, and which probably functions to demarcate the different settlements that existed within the valley. This is how it is visible from Google Earth. Here it is visible from here, running all along. This is the new fortification which is outside of the valley. When the capital was shifting from Rajgriha to Patliputra, During this transition phase, a small fortification was built up, a fortified city by Ajat Satru in order to prepare for the shifting of the place. Some excavation works are being conducted right now, and the reports are yet to be released. So this a strategic positioning of the Rajgriha within this protective embrace of hilly terrain. This probably led to, they had their own evolving military and commercial imperatives, and which all of those, the resource-driven areas from Chotta Nagpur and the nearby regions, the other forms of minerals and all of those things, in fact, prepared a conducive environment for the growth of these early state formation, the first city, Rajgriha, as the first capital of ancient Magadhan Empire. Further, for the security arrangements, a fortification was built over. This fortification served for different purposes at different period of time. While maybe initially it may have been built in order to as a security arrangements, later on probably these defensive wall function in different way. Later on it may have been used as pathways, and probably much later on it may have been used it may have been used for many different purposes, such as to save the city from frequent floods, as the watershed imagery analysis of this cyclopean wall relates that this also channelized water to different ponds that existed within the valley area. So thank you, as I'm running out of time.
Thank you, Azad. Okay, using the chair's prerogative, I would pose two quick questions to Colonel Bose and Azad. Colonel Bose, you have used the category military labor market, and since the publication of Naukar Sepoy Rajput, that has been, since the publication of the book Naukar Rajput Sepoy by Doug Koff, it has become standard to use. But in the context of pre-modern times, when you're talking of also elephants and the entire apparatus which would have to train those elephants, won't Thomas Trotman's terminology, military livestock complex, a better one for this region? And to you, Azad, I was perplexed by you mentioned that these walls were also possibly used as pathways. So given the terrain of this landscape, it is likely that to protect the caravans or people who are moving for trade and other purposes out of this citadel to larger areas outside, these also served as safe ways to navigate that, which also sends us a signal that perhaps these the early phase of Magad could be imagined as that of a jungle kingdom. It was based in a jungle and it was a kingdom. It was becoming dynastic, and I was also thinking of this conflict that these dynastic modes of state polity were having with Gana Sanghas, about which we were talking earlier. So you mentioned in 4th century BCE, Rajgir, the capital of Magad, shifts from Rajgir to Patliputra. So would you say that this also marks in a sense the challenge marks the end of the challenge that Gana Sanghas posed to Magad as a alternate form of state polity?
Am I audible? Yeah? Okay. Your question was about the military livestock complex by Thomas Trotman, who has focused largely on elephantries and how elephants were used for. But that is, of course, one of the layers of the various militaries. We can't really call this area only that. That was also one of the dynamics that was operating all over the subcontinent. So livestock, when we talk of military livestock, it includes not only elephants, but also horses, as I mentioned. Whoever controlled Delhi monopolized the trade in horses. They could buy up all the Chabuk Sawars could buy up all the better quality horses. So when we talk of livestock, we also talk of bullocks and other things. So because they are the ones who, I mean, if you are able to tap into the bullock availability, then your logistics are much better, which is what Wellington could do. Wellesley, of course, he was called Wellesley, then he was not Wellington yet, when he was operating as Mysore. So of course that is a layer. But then when we are talking of human recruitment, and especially we're talking, then we must use the word military labor market, because that is what we're talking about. That's why I would also use that, but maybe alongside this, and not just one or the other. Right, thanks.
So these fortification wall, which are made of undressed stone boulders, initially may have been served the purpose of taking the army to here and there. But later on, probably these may have been further remodified to suit the needs for the other forms of groups, religious pilgrims who were traveling in a lot amount to these places. So Rajgriha, which initially emerged as a political stronghold, gradually when it evolved much further, this place became also the place where knowledgeable people, those who were in quest of knowledge, such as the seekers, sages, mendicants, they were all traveling to this place, and they were all residing. Most of them they resided on the hilly terrain areas on top of these hills, as those suited their needs to practice their meditation, and valley remained little more urbanized. So these cyclopean wall probably gradually were later may have been used as pathways for those pillars of the hill. As we see that there are stairs in some of the branches of cyclopean wall, not all. So probably some of the branches may have been used, and some may still be left as usual in the past. And as Magad evolved and gradually expanded, we always focus on cities as a place for administration and accumulation of wealth, and for all kind of control over the territory. But we always misses the peripheries which are generally the frontiers, which are generally the jungles, the forest areas, the rivers, or some kind of tough terrain areas. Those are equally crucial for the territorial expansion, as well as for the imperial consolidation, because these forest areas are resource rich, which provide different kind of resources for the imperial consolidation of power. Further, all of the pathways, highways, such as Uttarapatha, major of these trade routes, passes through these forest areas only, which goes through these peripheries. So they are equally contribute the cities to grow, the power to consolidate in those places, and so that all of them were helping in this.
A round of question from the audience. Anyone wishes to pose a question to either Colonel Bose or Raza? Come on, students.
My question is to Colonel Bose. I'm Dr. Yadav. So how much you suppose that during the Battle of 1857, the soldiers from the Madras army were brought here, and how much were recruited?
Sorry, I couldn't get your question.
During the Battle of Plassey, how much the soldiers were brought by Lord Clive from the south, from the Madras, and how much they recruited after the battle out of this area? So can you give some idea on this?
Am I audible? Yeah, okay. So with the Battle of Plassey, I'm not very clear about the question, but I'll just repeat it. You are asking whether in the Battle of Plassey, how much soldiers he brought from the south and how much he recruited him? Okay, fine. So you see, when the Battle of Plassey occurred, the expedition of Clive had been preparing to come here north, because 1 year before the Battle of Plassey, information had reached Madras, of course not called Chennai, then it was called Madras, that there is something up in the north and he had better the rulers of Madras had better send an expedition there, right? Now, I have gone through many of the recruitment rolls as well as the payment schedules of the soldiers of both the Madras and the Bombay presidencies. They have got names which are not local names. Most of the names are North Indian. As I had mentioned, there were Bondeliars. Of course, the Bondeliars did not come to serve the East India Company. They had gone with the Mughals. But there were so many people from the north. But of course, there would have been many people recruited in the because that also forms part of that area. The lower Tamil area is also an area of infantry recruitment. So there might have been a large amount of soldiers there, but there were substantial amount of soldiers from the Purab in that expedition which had come up with him. But 1757, we must all remember, was not so much of a game changer. The actual game changer was 1764, when the Battle of Buxar, when the Mughals and Awadh, they were defeated, and the entire recruitment zone of Buxar passed into his hands. So that was the time when they could monopolize the recruitment. Till then, they didn't have a monopoly over recruitment of the Purabiyas, but they had a substantial number of Purabiyas in their armies. I hope I have been able to address.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Devpam Ghosh from Nalanda University. My question to you is, sir, this was the first time I heard about the colonel commandant families in central India. So could you please elaborate on the Ujjaini powers? On the Ujjaini powers.
I'm not very clear about your question. Could you say that, because there's something not audible? Maybe I will move there and it'll be more audible. Can you say that again?
Yes, sir. Sir, this was the first time I heard about the colonel commandant families in central India. Could you please elaborate on the Ujjaini powers? Okay.
All right. So there was this family based in the fortress of Raisen. Right. So Ujjaini power is, that one is important, and I made it a point to mention only that because a lot of work has been done on that, but there were many other communities also. So these people mostly had very good links with the local zamindars of this area. Not only this area, was also Awadh, as well as a few surrounding areas, and these people used to recruit Purabiya infantry and send them for their work there. Now, we must be very, very clear about the identities. Identities were largely formed through the regimental system, through these recruitment systems also. Not only during the British rule, but even before that. So, the people from Raisen were probably Tomars from Gwalior. Right? But they were recruiting here. So when they were recruiting here, they were ready to share their own caste names and community names here, because there was not as much of a disconnect as we sometimes assume that people were completely different like water and oil. But the people were willing to share their equipment. So they were Pawars, they were Tomars, but when they recruited people from this area, they used to share their things. But of course, the clan Rajputs of Rajputana were those call themselves the 36 higher tradition. But of course, there's no cogency in those 36. Every list of 36 has got several entries which are different. But they were not so ready to share their identities, but the others were.
Thank you, sir.
I'm afraid we will have to close the session now. And
Thank you so much. I request Lieutenant General Abhay Krishna to the stage to felicitate our esteemed panelists, please. So, one group photograph, please, sir. Sir, one group. Sir, group photograph. Thank you, sirs. Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to join us for the lunch. We will reassemble at 1350 hours for a thought-provoking seminar. Please join us back here as we continue our engaging discussions. Thank you so much.